Darian Mensah transfers to the University of Miami. A settlement was finally reached between Mensah's agency, Young Money APAA, and Duke after a week of legal battle, if you want to call it that. I guess it is. That would be what it's called, right? Legal battle. Duke decided to settle rather than wait for their court hearing scheduled today. It was scheduled today. He transferred a couple of days ago. There was a temporary restraining order set on Mensah that really prevented him from enrolling at any other school. And quite frankly, Duke could have pushed this a lot further and just had him not play at the University of Miami. But that sets a pretty bad precedent for your university if you're not preventing players from doing whatever they want. NIL right now is a mess. It is an absolute mess. It is not an ideal situation at this time. I think it's fair to say that there needs to be regulation and rules very soon. There does, because look, as much as great as it is that Mensah is coming to the University of Miami, the concept of like contracts in college football without treating them like employees and instead treating them like student athletes, it's just not going to work out. And then you get situations like Miami coming in and snatching Duke's chain, not just one chain, but two, because they got their wide receiver, Cooper Barcade. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Let me look up how to pronounce it so that I'm not butchering it completely, because I've been saying it wrong. Somebody made fun of me for saying it weirdly. It's Cooper Barcate. Wow. Okay, so Cooper, I can't believe I pronounced it Barcate. Cooper Barcate is his name. We transferred to the University of Miami. We're going to talk about those two and their play in a second. I really do want to discuss like what Duke was trying to do here. Duke, of all schools, Duke has plenty of money, and they get their money because of their elite basketball program, okay? And they're having a great year this year. They're like the best team in the ACC, and they're probably going to make a deep tournament run. Duke has a lot of money. They've never been a football school, though. Never. This past year, Duke football had probably one of their best seasons ever, okay? They only won 9 games, granted, but they won the ACC. They won their bowl game against Arizona State. I think in that game, Darian Mensah passed for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was electric in that game. And in a year where the ACC was relatively scrambled, Duke came out on top, and congratulations to them. Now, in fairness to Duke, Darian Mensah did put out a Instagram post saying that he was going to stay at Duke. He was going to stay at Duke. He did put out that post. And I guess to some degree, that is messed up that Darian Mensah would do something like that and then just, dip. It is messed up. It is a bit messed up. However, let's consider something here. For Duke, Duke, how far does Duke go if Darian Mensah stays? Right? How far do they go? They're going to run it back. Cool. The goal is to make the college football playoff. Cool. The roster itself isn't that great, though. And if we're being realistic, if we're being blunt here, if we're being honest, Duke, the likelihood of them running it back, because right now, like, it's just so scrambled, the ACC. The likelihood of the fact that they were in the ACC championship to begin with was a miracle, okay? They were going to run it back, right? Run it back to what, though? Run it back to what? What are you going to do? With the talent that is going on right now, with the talent that is right now in the current college football structure, how far do you think Duke's going to go? Is Duke going to go undefeated? Is Duke going to go undefeated in the ACC? I don't think so. They didn't go undefeated. They lost 5 games with Darian Mensah. They lost 5 games with Cooper Barcate there. They lost 5 games. The fact that they were ACC champions, I'll say it again, was insane. It made no sense. But for Darian Mensah, it makes all the sense in the world to transfer to the University of Miami. It makes all the sense in the world. Let's go down the list here. We could talk about, the money being a big thing, right? The money. Oh, it's all about the money. Let me take this hoodie off. This is unnecessary. It's all about the money, right? Let me tell you something. It's not just money that makes the University of Miami appealing, okay? Just like it's not just money that makes LSU appealing, all right? Now, LSU, granted, has money to play with, much like Miami does, and they stole two of Miami's, targets. Like Jordan Seaton, he was supposed to come to the U, didn't end up happening. Lane Kiffin does what he does. Sam Levitt, we wanted him to come to the U. Lane Kiffin does what he does. It is what it is. It's a money game at the end of the day. Why would Darian Mensah transfer to the U? It's quite simple. The U is going to propel him to a draft status that Duke could never do. Darian Mensah doesn't want to just have college success. He wants to go to the draft. He wants to go to the NFL. He wants to be successful. The last 2 years, the Miami Hurricanes have gotten Cam Ward and Carson Beck from the portal. And both of those two QBs have had their draft stock significantly increase. Now, Cam Ward's situation was different from Carson Beck's, right? Cam Ward ended up being the number 1 overall pick. Carson Beck probably won't get that same luxury at all, to be honest. He's probably going to be like a late day 2, day 3 pick. Fine. That's completely fine. It was a better draft. He's going to get drafted a lot higher than he would if he stayed at Georgia. So now Darian Mensah is looking at this and saying, well, I don't just want to win the ACC. I also want to go to the league. I can do both at the University of Miami with significantly better weapons, a significantly better offensive line, a significantly better defense, significantly better everything. You have everything to gain. If you're a transfer portal QB and you are great, if you come to the U, your draft stock is going to rise more. And granted, look, it's going to be very difficult for Darian Mensah to stand out in a draft class that's going to include Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Sam Levitt, etc. Right? It's going to be hard to stand out. However, what I will say is the national spotlight being on Miami is definitely going to help Mensah's case to be drafted very high. Now, Darian Mensah this past year was phenomenal. 3,973 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 67% completion percentage, 6 interceptions only. He was phenomenal this year. He was second in the league in passing touchdowns, top 3 in the league in passing yards. He was amazing. And then on top of that, we're bringing in Cooper Barkate. Cooper Barkate is coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. His recent season, 72 catches, 1,106 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's a career high. Career high season, aside from the touchdowns. Back-to-back seasons over 1,000 yards is Cooper Barkate. And now he's going to be at the University of Miami. And the same thing that can be said about Darian Mensah can be said about Cooper Barkate as well. Look, Cooper Barkate was doing great at Duke, but guess what? Now he can get NFL notoriety at the University of Miami because that's what this is all about for these college football players. It's not just about being great in college. They want to get to the league and they want to be successful. They do. Look at all the transfers that have come from the University of Miami that benefited greatly from coming here. Not just Carson Beck, Jacoby Thomas, his draft stock shot up the ladder. Keontae Scott, same exact thing. CJ Daniels is probably looked at a lot higher is probably getting looked at a lot more now that he went to the U than if he stayed at LSU. Maybe he would have gotten the spotlight eventually. But the U, after the run they went on, hello. My point is this. You're not going to get that notoriety at Duke. Duke had their run. They had their ACC championship run, and congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. For Darian Mensah, though, it's more than just the ACC. It's more than just about winning the ACC. It's about competing for national championships, improving his draft stock, and getting to the draft. And you're not going to get a better opportunity to do that than at the University of Miami. The Miami Hurricanes offense next year might be one of the best in the country. I already mentioned Darian Mensah. I already mentioned bringing in Cooper Barkay, but the weapons around here, Malachi Toney in year 2. We're going to get Cam Vaughn from the transfer portal, Joshua Moore in his second year, Samorian Wingo, Dalen Upshaw. There's so many names at the wide receiver. Dre Jacobs. There's so many names at the wide receiver position. At running back, all 4 running backs that were in the running back room last year are back this year, incredibly enough. Mark Fletcher, Marty Brown, Gerard Pringle, Jordan Lyle, and a bunch of other running backs coming in from the draft too. Honestly shocked. Honestly, super shocked that Mark Fletcher decided to stay after the year he just had. I was almost sure he was going to go to the NFL. But he stayed. He stayed. The tight end room, Elijah Lofton, Gavin Mueller, Israel Briggs. We're going to bring in a bunch of great players. And I would hope that the tight end position at the University of Miami gets back to what it usually is. I would hope. The offensive line is going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky, granted, because, 4 of the starters are gone, right? Brockermeyer, gone. Inez Cooper, gone. CeCe Maui Noah, gone. Markel Bell, gone. All 4 of those great players for the University of Miami have left to go to the draft. Congrats to them. But let me tell you, man, we're bringing in a 5-star Jackson Cantwell. We still brought in Okunlua and Mike McCoy. Jamal Merriweather was brought in from Georgia. We still got some work to do. There are definitely some tweaks we need to make to this offensive line, but you know what? We literally have Alex Mirabal and Mario Cristobal who specialize in building offensive lines. So I'm not worried about that at all. I still think it's going to be a great offensive line. The University of Miami, the expectations should be to win the ACC. That should be your floor. Winning the ACC should be your floor, and I'll go as far as to say if you don't win the ACC, you failed. That's how far I'm taking it. If you don't win the ACC this year, you failed. You failed. You did. Looking at the schedule, first, I think the schedule going on with the Miami Hurricanes is so flawed. It is so unbelievably flawed. I think we have 4 weekday games. We're opening at Stanford on a Friday night. That sucks. Way to treat your national championship runner-ups. Jeez. It's an ugly schedule, but I will say that the talent on this team, with the talent that we have on this team, we're not going to have any excuses. We're not going to have any excuses. Would love for these games to be played on Saturday, but you're not going to get – we weren't dealt a great hand, and that's just what we're going to have to deal with. Regardless, look, I'm going to keep saying it. The Miami Hurricanes should be 1,000% the favorites to win the ACC and to make the college football playoff, and we can't leave any more doubt. Because last year, even though we went all the way to the national championship, having to literally pray that the committee let us in, I don't want that to happen anymore. I think, especially with Duke getting an auto bid, which is ridiculous, by the way, with Duke getting an auto bid, we need to solidify the ACC. We need to just make it known that, hey, we're gonna win this conference. We're going to seal our fate in the in the college football playoff. We're going to seal our spot in, and yeah, can't leave it in the hands of the committee. We just got to do it ourselves.